In the fly fishing world, there are those standard patterns that everyone has. Your stoneflies, your caddis, your mayflies. But to fill out your fly box, there are a few others that you need to have. Okay, Tad, so, in building out my fly box, I think I've got the basics. I've got the stoneflies, the caddis, the mayflies, all the patterns. But I know that there are a few things that I need to have a complete box.
Yes.
So what else do I need?
Yeah, there's some other flies you certainly don't want to leave home without.
Mm-hmm.
The first of which is the kind of the no-brainer fly, is the classic woolly bugger.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong with a woolly bugger. It'll catch them. You can't fish it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly want to have a few of those, maybe a few colors, maybe a few sizes, just to keep the fish in check, or on those days where you can't buy a bite, or maybe you're not getting the drifts you want. Throw the woolly bugger.
Kind of work it like a streamer?
Yes, yeah. You can work like a streamer. You can work like a nymph. Does not matter. Like, again, can't fish it wrong, you know?
Okay, good.
But as we move over, in the summer months, we're going to have more terrestrials. So terrestrials are those bugs that most their life cycle occurs on land, but in those windier days might get blown onto the water.
Mm-hmm.
So here we're talking the grasshopper and the ant.
Yeah.
Two simple patterns, always worth having both in your fly box. You don't need a ton, but for those summer months, certainly helpful to have. The next one's going to be we're going to go from the bigger ones, from the terrestrials. We're going to go over to the small stuff. So midges. Midges are little, almost look like small little worms in the water. They'll be on the rocks. They're in every stream across the world, just about. Right. They're very common. They'll hatch into little mosquito-looking insects, but when they're still in that pupa form underwater, the trout will eat them small, especially if you're looking on tailwaters. So if you're fishing below a dam in some cool tailwater rivers, midges are a must-have. They're always around. Sometimes they're the only thing around.
That's a good tip.
So definitely want to have a few of those. The next one, and I kind of put this in that area with the woolly bugger, is a soft hackle. Can imitate everything from a small emerging insect down to a small, fry. Okay. Trout fry, shiner fry, whatever's in your water. Can do both. You can swing it. Again, it's one of those you can't really fish wrong, but a good fly to have a few of in your box.
Yeah.
The next, we're going to go to the classic junk patterns.
Junk patterns.
Yep. We have the eggs, the worms, and the mops. Man, of course, the egg and the worm, pretty self-explanatory. The mop could be a few of many things, if nothing at all.
Right.
But they will flat out catch fish. You're going to want a few of those and a few colors, just to, in case you're burning through a hole, catch a few. Having a different color there to show the fish something different is a great thing to do. The next one, and is more river, creek specific, where you are in the world specific, but never a bad idea to have few, are sow bugs, shrimp, and scuds. So they're all actually crustaceans. They're not bugs. The sow bugs will look more like little roly-polies.
Okay.
You've seen plenty of those. They're an aquatic variety. You're going to have those on a lot of streams with grass.
Okay.
So you're going to be around vegetation when you're finding these. In Arkansas, the White River, their must-haves out there. Some of the Colorado tailwaters, you don't want to leave home without them. And then again, out in California, you'll find a few streams that you'll need those on. Kind of in that same realm is going to be your scuds. Scuds are kind of look like the roly-polies, kind of look like little shrimp.
Okay.
They're going to be found both on still waters, so your high elevations, lakes, ponds out in, California, the Rockies, stuff like that. There's going to be plenty around there. They're going to be under rocks around wood. You can slowly strip those across the bottom. You can dead drift them if you're in the fast water, but certainly a good fly to have. They're also good on rivers like the White and all that. The scuds and sow bugs kind of go hand in hand there.
Right there. Yeah.
And but especially in the winter months, it seems like they're a little bit more popular with the fish as there's less other food sources around.
Mm-hmm.
When fish are eating these, they can get big, fat, healthy really quick because there's that year-round forage. And then the last one, a little less common, is a little mysis shrimp, a little shrimp pattern. All three of these I found in Europe, in Eurasia, ponds, rivers, they can be in both. And there's not a worse feeling than when you find a few of those on the river you're fishing and you
Right.
don't have any in the
And
box.
you don't have it.
So
Yeah.
I've learned the hard way, even if you don't use them, keep a few in the box, and never bad to have around.
Okay, so I've got a question when it comes to the junk.
Yep.
The junk patterns. A lot of places stock trout throughout the year.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking more stockers and wild. Is that where you really want to bring out your junk? For the fish that have been fed in the hatcheries and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the stock trout certainly love the junk flies.
Okay.
But wild fish will also have a hard time passing up on a worm through, a good portion of the year if they don't see many other flies. And then in the springtime and then again in the fall, those egg patterns can fool, wild fish, stock trout, all the same.
Right.
The mops, I tend to have more luck with the stockers on them. Not that the wild fish won't, but they'll likely lean towards other naturals if they're around.
So in completing a real, I guess you want to say, well-rounded fly box, we got our standards: stone flies, caddis, mayflies.
Yep.
These are what we need to fill it out just for those situations
Yes.
where maybe those standards are not working.
Exactly.
Just a different color, something different.
Different look, and it might be hey, I fish, stream XYZ, most of the time. I only need these mayflies, mayfly patterns.
Yeah.
But when you go traveling or you're going other places around that you haven't been before, always a good backup move to have some of these flies just in case.
So that's good advice. So I'm going to get a few, finish my box, and I'm going to get out on the water. Well, I hope you guys learned something. I certainly did. If you like this content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and click that notification bell. We got a lot of other videos we'll put down in the links below. And guys, check out our Live Well podcast every Thursday night from 8 to 10. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.